seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong. They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
But it gave my mom and me more time to plan, together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you look at Nebraska baseball, a 40-win season, best pitching in the Big Ten, above average offense for the Big Ten. You go to regionals, far and away the best pitching staff, but a good half a run below even the third worst offense in that regional. When you look at Nebraska baseball, is that a program that needs to improve the pitching first or the lineup first to be able to make more of a dent in the postseason?
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got DP, the other host to my left, and the main host, Haas Tabrizi, streaming in here. If you guys ever want to join in on the show, as we're still on the brick and mortar, we don't got the Royals till 2 o'clock. 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. And again, if you want to put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, Allo Channel 961, all a great way to do so. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and bring him in. Haas Tabrizi, man, how's it going on this Sunday?
Happy Sunday. Maximus said, hey, Matt, hey, Dad, you should start the show by letting everyone know Happy Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yeah, that was literally part of today. In my head, Haas, was that we just could talk about some of the best fathers, like some of the best fathers. And today's a day where you should, in some way, shape, or form, to whether it's a real father, whether it's your father, whether it's somebody else's father that looked out for you, shout them out. But Haas, in full form, this week has been kind of like a celebration of the staff here and the roster that we have. And I got the opportunity to send Haas's daughter some Caitlin Clark stuff.
Okay.
Right. Just some extra stuff. So just a little thing, because I know how much it matters to Haas to have that representation and to kind of see the sparkle in his children's lives. And it's a real thing. But at the staff here, like most of the producers and the talent here, I'm getting them ready for NFL season and to try to get them ready. So before we get into today's show, I want to do this thing for Harrison, because Harrison does the work, heavy lifting for us. So Harrison, okay. There's your care package, just to say you are appreciated, kind sir.
Let's go.
Hold on. Let me guess.
All right.
Caleb Williams?
No, I went simple because I was trying to get something for everybody. And so I wanted to get them the same thing, right? Because, so they have these really cool hat and T-shirt combinations. And I for each host, their team has the T-shirt and hat combination. And that was the hookup. So Harrison Arns has on his new Bears hat with his new Bears T-shirt that he can rock all season long.
The Bears.
The Bears. It's the year.
Yeah, this is year. Yeah, this is
absolutely
it. Like, this is his year, 100%, that we get him. And here's the funny thing. Literally everybody here, no matter what their team was, said this is their year. Like, literally everyone was like, this is it. Like, this is it. A nice dad AD. Yep, let's go. Rap.
Goodness.
Oh, yeah, let's ride. I'm like,
every
everybody,
fan.
like, it's the beauty of it. But Haas truly knows that his Niners, this is their year. Like, yeah,
it's an actual year for him. And Haas, I don't know if you're joking about the Caleb Williams jersey, but if you're a Bears fan, you learned that mistake of getting the rookie QB jersey a long time ago. So I'm going to hold my tongue. Hat, I can stay clean with the hat. This thing will never wear out. So thank you, DP. Definitely getting ready for the NFL season. I got half my family are Packers fans, so I'm going to need this.
To rub it all the way in.
Oh, man.
All the way in. Austin Breezy, please shout out your father, kind sir.
Yeah. Oh, man. My dad, we love you, Dad. You've impacted so many people, and we're so lucky to have you. So my own wife didn't know that my dad was pronounced dead like 3.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. She didn't know he was actually pronounced dead, and he's still here. The story came about because I was playing tennis yesterday, and I was a little emotional just from my mom passing, and they're like, "Man, you like to play tennis during emotional times." I remember when we were playing tennis and you were told your dad's dead, and you just kept playing.
Oh, but I mean, this is like it this is why I think we miss the layup a lot of times in telling our stories about who we are and why we are. Like, we sit here and share our personalities And sometimes we have to share the highs and lows. To be authentic, you have to share the highs and the lows. It can't just be one or the other, or just that middling of here's the accumulation of all the stuff that I am. But Haas has such a unique background, and his parents and their story is one that, quite frankly, Haas, I think what we need to do in one of the one-on-ones pretty soon, we just need to sit and reintroduce people to Haas Tabrizi in full, because to say that he's a coach or dad or an athlete or an announcer or any of those things is almost burying the lead. There's such a great story of stories that equal Haas Tabrizi. And so I think that will be a wonderful thing. And this is why I said today, I want to spend time talking about those fathers, because we are all an accumulation of all the great things that happened in your father's life and your grandfather's life and your great grandfather's life, and we miss it. So I said today we're gonna shout out. So Harrison Arns, please, for the first time ever on the as far as I know on this station, having you talk about your dad.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out, give the full name. Obviously, dad to me, Charles Arns, Chuck Arns. Yeah, he's the classic Northeast Nebraska farmer. You know, we obviously moved to the city, but for the longest time growing up, we grew up on the farm. And yeah, he just did a lot. Anybody knows that dad that runs a farm, it's a lot of work day in, day out. And I'll never forget, I told on Bigger Than the Score. My dad was so nice and trying to keep me busy so I wouldn't get in his way, but doing it the nicest way possible.
Yeah, that is almost the perfect description of farm dads.
Yeah.
That's like perfect.
It gets better. So he gave me a pair of really strong magnets. And I was young enough to the point to where he was doing farm work and he's like, I really need to get these magnets. I'm dumb enough to believe this, to get these magnets to stay together. Obviously impossible to do. He had the polar end opposites to it. I did that for 2 hours while he continued to work on the farm, but he just give me dumb jobs like that all the time just to keep me busy, feel like I was involved. And then I'll never forget, he poured concrete out the one day and we got the basketball hoop outside the garage. And that was just an awesome moment because my dad knew I was about it. And then, you know, sweeping that off. Yeah, he's just a great dad all the way through. I mean, definitely put the fear in you when you needed it, as farmer dads can do.
Yeah.
But also, like, I know if I could call him today, I could call him 5 years ago, I can call him 10 years from now, you know, hopefully if he's all health as well, and he'll always be there for me. So shout out Chuck Arns, Charles Arns. Couldn't ask for a better dad. Happy Father's Day to him if he's listening.
It really is. And Haas, that's what's like, you think about it from this perspective. We all kind of arrive to other people without real understanding of who got you there. And the saying is, we all stand on the shoulders of some great people. Hopefully we stand on the shoulders of people who loved us. And then that's how you know you're in a good place, is that's what it is. And so, Haas, I wanted to say that to you, that the way that you love your young people is I'm proud of you. I'm proud of how you're going about this. And I can't wait to see what the result is, because quite frankly, you're doing it the right way, brother.
Thank you, brother. I don't want to age you, but you have some big brother, father-like ideas for me all the time. So I'll call you big brother instead. But thank you for being you.
Whatever's called, as long as there's love attached. Like that's the real part, right? Like to go through. It's just that thing, right? That there's a meme that's kind of an Instagram, TikTok sort of thing going around, is that sadly, the moment men hear about their greatnesses as a dad only happen when you can't hear them, because it's usually when you're in a box. And we have to do better at saying those things and being able to, it's the three words that I love so much, which is love out loud. And the great regrets that we have is that people are removed from us, and we have these thoughts and gestures of love that we wanted to reach them, and they don't. And we always think we have enough time. We always think we have time to be able to do that. So today, I mean, more than anything else, for Father's Day, there's so much of this that we just need to say to our people, the people who love us. Be smart enough to love the people who love you. And that's what I wanted to do today. Haas, where's your sports brain at today? Are there great dads in sports that you want we can go burn through this first segment because I know that in your mind, Vincent Kennedy McMahon may be the top one, right? In sports, right? There's certain dads that, Ken Griffey Sr. We can literally see that moment of him standing next to Junior.
Mm-hmm.
And we say that Bobby Bonds had several of those moments. Haas, who are the great dads in sports?
Before we do that, let's keep honoring dads out there. So,
okay. Yes.
Harrison, give me the one trait that you have learned from your dad the most, and I'll give you a second. And so, listeners, if you want to text in 402-464-5685, or just say, hey, this shout out to my dad. Because of him, I'm really good at this. So for me, it's giving confidence to my kids. So my dad taught me that I can do anything, whether it's true confidence or not. He always made me very confident. And I see that is something that I do towards my kids. So Harrison, the same question for you. And then DP, whether you know it or not, maybe it goes, hey, what are you doing for your kids that is a tradition that you would love for them to pass on? So whichever way you want to go with that route, but what is the fatherly thing that sticks out for the Pearson name and for Harrison as well?
Yeah, I'd say probably number one, accountability. My dad was pretty good about that. If I was going to do something wrong, I might not know about it that minute. I might not know about it that day, maybe even months, maybe even a whole year goes by, but sooner or later it'd catch up to me. He was really good at installing the idea that when you're going to do wrong actions, you might be able to hide away from it temporary, but sooner or later it's going to show up. So that accountability part and just holding everybody accountable, and it wasn't, through yelling at me and stuff like that, but if it took time to show me like that path I was going down, that accountability is going to bite me back. So yeah, I give him a lot, like the hard work, accountability. I think that goes hand in hand for a lot of people out there that have dads that were farmers. That it was just a huge part of it. Like I had to be accountable. And if I wasn't there for something, if something was important, it might not bite me in that moment, like I said, but down the road, there's going to be consequences to about every action in your life. So shout out to my dad for teaching me that lesson. Wasn't always fun, but definitely stuck with me to, I'm sitting here at 25 years old now.
What about you, DP?
It's, it led me to the question, to question everything, with not only to question everything, but to question it for the better. Like that part, like that he would say, so my stepdad, so I never met my actual genetic father.
Which is why I was trying to change the wording of that question for you.
Well, I caught that. Yeah, I caught that. But here's the thing. They both loved me in their own way. And that's how people are. That whether it's being present, whether it's being purposeful, whether it's being just an idea and a concept, like that's ultimate love, is that it reaches you no matter where you are. Like I can hear my actual father's voice. I can hear my actual stepfather's voice in various points of the day. My stepdad was just the one that we don't have to be blood to love each other at the highest level. Like he came into a really tough situation, and my father wasn't married to my mom. But I didn't know that he existed for 55 years. So there's that. Mm-hmm. But at my second TED, there's a moment where so Haas will get this, that you get to put pictures behind you on the big screen as you're talking. And that man has my face. And that was the first time ever at age 60 that I was present with my father, his face. And his existence made me get smarter. I had to dive into science. I had to dive into American history. I had to go back and find out some real American story things because of this man. And he brought so many people in my life to love me. And to find out that I had other brothers and sisters and cousins and aunties and uncles who were waiting to love me, and that I would have missed out on, right? That my stepdad, shout out to my sister Rhonda and Tawana, and like they were people who loved me. They love me hard still today. We're not blood, but they love me hard. So both of these men taught me that love, whether present or implied, is the thing. Like, don't look beyond meeting this person and not being present enough to find out that they're good people and that they care about you. Like that man, that DC police officer, could have just kept it moving. But no, he would sit me down. He taught me his love for boxing. He taught me his love of Jackie Robinson, his love of Willie Mays, that we would argue that Willie Mays was the greatest baseball player to ever live, right? Period. Like that. And he would go through and take me back through it. And he would drive me to Baltimore to see the Orioles after the Senators moved. Like this man, like this sports version of me wouldn't exist without him. But to also find out that my DNA father played in the Negro Leagues, like to explain that I had this baseball. None of the rest of my siblings played baseball, as far as I knew, except for my brothers who were from my dad, were all baseball players. And it's this missing thing that you just go through. So take things at value and then find out the good from it. That's what these men gave to me more than anything else, was vision, like vision, better, deeper vision of good. And I'm pretty.
I thought you were going to say leading with your heart, but vision.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's what coaching is.
Yeah,
that's really what coaching is. That sometimes we're there to correct the mistakes of others. Sometimes we're there to better the situation and circumstance. Sometimes it's just our job to be there. And I have a list of coaches and parents, dads, who, again, I was a poor kid. Like, still at heart, I'm a poor kid. So that's why gifting is so important to me, because I know what it felt like to not have it, and I remember what it's like to receive something authentically given.
Feels
right?
pretty good.
Right? like that thing. And so I carry that from all the dads, and I literally could roll call 100 great men who, for no other reason than they were just great men. They didn't have to love on the poor kid. They didn't. I mean, these are folks that made sure I had cleats to play, right? Because, or a way to practice, or a meal after practice, or just, hey, capture that temper of yours and use it productively. Like, that's a beautiful thing. It's okay to care, but how you care matters. Like, don't rip into an official. Look at yourself. And then how to communicate, to have a man put his hand on your shoulder and be all about the conversation with you is kind of the definition of the best version of all of it, right? That somebody's willing to just stop the world with all the chaos happening around it and look at young Haas and say, better. Like, man, that's the good. Like, that's the good. That's what today is for me.
Love it. You talked about giving. I want to talk about giving. Maybe it's on the one-on-one, because I mean, my dad taught me, but my mom. There's a couple stories of my mom. Maybe we talk about that later.
Yep.
Just so people really understand that when we talk about fathers, we can segue a little bit into wrestling, and there's so many third-generation wrestlers, second-generation wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, with the storylines, my favorite storyline is with Dom. And so, is it Eddie Guerrero or Rey Mysterio that was his father?
Right, like it's such a big part. I think they're getting better at telling those family stories. With Braun Breaker being a Steiner. Like, to me, as much as he wanted to build it on his own, he's a Steiner, bro. Like, you can't escape it. Well, I mean, like, it's just like, imagine Cody Rhodes going under Cody Adams because he didn't want to, he didn't want to aspire to having to follow in the footsteps of the great Dusty Rhodes, right? And you go, no, man, give me that. Like Randy Orton Jr. came in, like he walked in with his dad. It was like it's a big part of it. And you're right,
Charlotte Smith.
Right, like Charlotte, wait a minute. Don't, I still, like, I love the fact that, one, she built it off of the city that she was born in, and then evolved into, you know what? I am Charlotte Flair. Like, I absolutely am Charlotte Flair. And through all of the stuff that goes on, the bloodline, they could have, if somebody had come through and said Rikishi Jr., my top of my head would pop off. Like it would be, yes, give me more. I understand. Now because of the progression of women's wrestling, how many of those daughters, Tully Blanchard's daughter, like there's a bunch of them who are trying, and I get it, right? I get it. But Tamina Snuka needs to be a Snuka. Like, let me have that. Like, let us love you more because of where you come from and who you come from. And we know that it cares. Generationally, what wrestling has done a really good job of telling those stories. But the greatest, Vince is the great dad of wrestling just because of what it's done. And I remember the David Sammartino days, because when Bruno's son came through, it was good for him and it was bad for him to be Bruno's son. The Flair, that it was good for them, but it was also bad for them.
David Flair.
It didn't go the way you want the fairy tale to go. It was a tragedy. And you go, oh, man. I'll say this. I've been in the room and had Ric Flair talk about his sons, about his family. And that's more who I think of when I think of Ric Flair. That man who, again, in his mind, he wishes he had the ability to get off the road, not be the nature boy, and be there for his kids. But that wasn't who he was. And they knew it wasn't who they were. And then things happened. That's parenting. Is that all the great intentions, sometimes you miss. And it's okay. It's okay, because that's the human part of it. So, yeah, wrestling does a really good job of telling this. Like, it's the DiBiase family, like, literally, you can go through generations and generations.
Haas, go ahead here.
But Mysterio and his son being the first ever father-son tag team champions naturally made it go there for me. There's obviously different father-son combinations. What's LeBron going to do with Bronny? That's
sports does that. That from a balance standpoint, you try to help, but you don't want to overly influence because it's not fair. But look, we're a country that nepotism works, man. Like we know there's a lot of people who reap benefits simply because. So hey, we understand. And it better not be Dom. It better not be Dom. Like the Rhodes family is the first family, but Dom better not ever make that list.
The best story on Raw right now is Dom.
No, I don't even care. I don't care.
You don't think the Liv Morgan, Dom, and Rhea Ripley story is great?
No, the only reason that's a story is because of Liv and Rhea. It doesn't matter. Dom's just the pawn. I'm not putting that dude on the king status. He is a pawn. He's the replaceable. You could have done that with literally any wrestler. You could have done that with Fenn. I'd have bought it. You could have done that. You could have done it with El Champion. With Priest. If you had done that with Priest, now we got a story. Now, because it's the champ and his best buddy and Liv. Oh, we won. But no, You took the fast food track and you went and got him Big Mac. You could have had a steak, but you settled for a Big Mac.
Sounds like
no, they took the most. They took the most. No, hold up. Commercials can wait. You took the most hated man in wrestling and gave him the two females that most wrestling fans wanted. He's going to be hated even more.
We'll talk about it here on The Breeze. Second segment, don't go anywhere. Plenty left. 402-464-5685. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relieved. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage. They hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Join us each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon for Youth Football 101 with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves of 7-on-7 football. The future of the sport depends on the foundation set at a young age. Hear those stories and more each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon here on 93.7 The Ticket.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I think the plan is to go bigger at corner. You got to have bigger corners in this league because you got these receivers. You got to deal with Ohio State receiver. And I'm not saying small corners can't get it done, but small corners have to be extraordinary, right? They got to jump higher. They got to do things that bigger corners might not necessarily have to do. So, I mean, losing Ethan Nation, it's kind of a blow, but when you got to get down in scholarships anyway, it's not, man. They got to have their best guys, man.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the host, DP and Haas, streaming in here at 402-464-5685. If you guys want to join in, I'll shout out this one from Don before we get anywhere. Shout out to Don texting in. Much love and adoration to you guys with your show and overall positivity you give us. I'll catch a listening to the whole show later. Be well. And you absolutely can do that. If you can't stay in your car for the whole show, go back on YouTube or wait for the podcast to come out later. You can always go back and rewatch these. But Haas to Breezy, I'll let you pick up where we left off. I don't know if you want to keep going with the same argument we had before the break. Your show. Take it away.
Thanks, Don, for that. Appreciate you. Hey, let's talk about Clash of the Castle last night and or yesterday. And then we can lead into what Money in the Bank should look like. So who should be the men's Money in the Bank winner? Who should be the women's Money in the Bank winner? So for Clash of the Castle last night, I think it was obvious for weeks. Okay, Judgment Day is not going to be there. Is he going to win at home finally? They're going to give him his moment at home. They didn't really give him his WrestleMania moment. They gave it to him for 5 minutes. Are they going to let Drew McIntyre celebrate in front of his fans, his family, all those things? CM Punk. Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard when I could tell from his slick back hair when he's going, wow. Oh no, that's definitely CM Punk.
Yeah.
Oh man, Maximus hates CM Punk. He hates CM Punk now.
Like Hoss, here's where I was with it. Was one, it took some gumption. And there's another word I want to use that has 5 letters that deal with your anatomy. But I want gumption is where we will land with that. Marbles to rake those fans of their dollars. All with the idea. Listen, you have got to be a gangster. A pure and absolute gangster to say that's like coming to Lincoln and having said we're going to bring the Heisman Trophy Award to Lincoln. We're going to have the banquet there. And at the top of the list is Tommy Frazier. Tommy Frazier is going to be at the final group of 5 at the Heisman Trophy Award banquet here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then you do not give him the trophy. They
meltdown. Absolute melt. I'd be part of the meltdown. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be there.
This is Haas. Can you imagine the officials trying to get out of the building, trying to get out of the arena?
If Drew loses, we riot.
Yeah, like literally, you know that they're there, right? And then that if you're Drew, like if you're Piper Niven, okay, like still, like you gave her moment to be the queen adjacent in her home space with some fans and friends there. Like that's a coronation moment, right? That's a coronation moment. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. But that wasn't the pitch and sell for Drew. That wasn't the pitch and sell. Like, let me ask you a real simple question. Would it have killed them to let Drew go the Gunther path and win the Intercontinental title at home and then have this discussion later? Like, wouldn't that have been just Like, you don't lose anything.
No, that wouldn't hurt at all.
Like that, you wouldn't lose anything.
You'd be building better foundation for the story, if anything.
Like at the castle, that iconic moment of him at home raising a strap. And I thought, no, I know that they're months ahead in their storytelling.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and sidebar, the current conversation that them giving Cody the strap was a mistake and it's hurt business is hilarious. Because
saying that?
It's hilarious because the gear, the apparel contracts are lacking a little bit. The numbers are down. Gates are apparently down. But hey,
Hold up.
Yeah, you didn't see that. You didn't see that. You didn't see the stories.
Hold up. Let's see who was at WrestleMania 40. Night 1, The Rock, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Any of those guys at the pay-per-view last night?
No, sir.
Any of those guys at the previous pay-per-view?
No, but remember now. So, Cody opened the show last night.
They had to because of Drew.
Listen to me. Here's what they don't have to do anything. They've made this clear. That they do what they want to do, not what they have to do.
It was weird to open the show with Cody.
Just wait a minute. Like, what are you even doing? You could open with Piper and let the home, the home crowd get sauced up. Here's the thing: Liv wasn't. Wait a minute. Did Liv wrestle last night?
Nope.
Liv, wait a minute. Like the bloodline didn't.
LA Knight?
What do you do? Like, they don't have to do anything. They're telling you, we do what we want. Get in line, give us your money, and don't worry about it. Look, if the best story is Dom and Liv and a wrestler who hasn't been in the building in 45 days, you don't know. No,
is that or Chad Gable and what's his name?
I don't. There's no romance in that. I don't care that he's protecting his sister. No, that's not. Wait a minute. We already understand that Otis. You made Otis a dude. Like, you trying to figure out whether. I said this to Harrison. If you wanted to have a third wheel storyline in WWE using 2 women wrestlers and a guy, since you're gonna take the straps from them anyway, which I have questions about, why Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair would give up the straps. Okay, tell me you're gonna put them one against one to figure out why it happened. Okay, I would buy it. What would be the best way to do that? I don't know. Have Jade Cargill make a pass at Montez Ford. That's believable. And I'm watching. You're going to give me 2 months, 3 months of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair and Montez Ford, the 3 of the best mics people in the business, having each other out. And wait a minute, I could actually believe that they would fight over Montez Ford. There's that. Look, if you told me, I would buy it. Look, stop it. They do what they want to do. It's not they have to do. There's nothing about it. You could have given me everything. You could have put them in there against 2 sisters that we had never met. But if you tell me that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, one, aren't your priority 1A of being a women's champion, then you don't, you really don't care. You don't care. Jade Cargill is tailor-made, custom-made. If you went to the lab of what a WWE women's champion should look like, there it is. There's prototype. It's not Mommy. It's not Liv. Okay, it's Jade Cargill. But no, let's not do that dance because that makes too much sense. They do what they want to do, none of what they have to do.
Well, hopefully they win the belts back on Raw so that the Dawn and Fire can have their moment in their hometown, and hopefully the girls get it back on Raw. I want to hear your reaction on this. So Jade Cargill apparently didn't perform her move well a couple times.
Oh, she
by
botched
Shayna
it. Yeah. No, she absolutely botched it. She
Not
absolutely.
Tyson
Oh,
words.
she triple botched. She botched and then botched the botch and then unbotched to rebotch the botch. It was fantastic. It was the messiest. It was the messiest 45 seconds of pro wrestling I've seen in a minute. It was epic. It was beautiful because I went, oh boy, oh no, stop it, just reset. Like I kept waiting, just roll out of the ring and reset. Like just act like nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw.
Just the description. Everybody saw it. Jade Cargill slipping off the top rope and tumbling across towards the canvas.
Oh my God. It was, bruh, I was like, oh, but see, this is what happens. You have to put the best performers together so that you get the best performances. You can't put her in there against NXT people. Like, what are you doing? That's why NXT exists. Go and botch in private. Botch in you botch at home in the basement. You're not going to botch a international botch job. Like, it was spectacular. Hoss, I literally applauded. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, if you're going to botch it,
go
super botch it. Like,
so how real was the receipts given by Shayna Baszler when Cargill tapped out?
Oh,
like, okay, enough.
No, but this is where, like, sometimes they get it wrong. That the perfect response to that was, oh, Shayna gets the chip. Like, we got to strap her right now. Because she was like, listen, you could hear in Shayna's, like, she used the B word in her head. Like, listen, B. She called her every name she could call her and then grabbed the wrist and gave it a twist. And I went, oh, that looks mighty UFC-ish there, Shayna. That is not a WWE hold. You went straight UFC. Let me lock this thing up. And as she's tapping, they're ignoring the tap. Like, the tap is Shayna. Look, Jade Cargill's going.
Wade Barrett said something. He's like, oh, I think she's tapping.
Hey, sis. You really hurting me right now. And Shayna was like, yep. Take more. And I'm telling you, that was actually my favorite part of the whole day.
That sounds pretty
That
entertaining.
was like, oh, chef's kiss. And if they did, like, now you've got it right. Like, I need to see that. Like, I need those receipts handed out on national TV prime time. I need for them to have the discussion and Shayna just go, you deserved it. You deserved it. You deserved this smoke. Like, yeah. Hoss, it was spectacular, bro.
We can't talk after that. Coming back on the breeze in 2 minutes.
Want to contribute to medical advancements and get paid for your time? Join a clinical trial at Velocity Clinical Research. Participants can receive compensation, access medicines in development, and get study-related care at no cost. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. Help shape the future of medicine. Visit velocitytrials.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you look at Nebraska baseball, I mean, a 40-win season, best pitching in the Big Ten, above average offense for the Big Ten. You go to regionals, far and away the best pitching staff, but a good half a run below even the third worst offense in that regional. When you look at Nebraska baseball, is that a program that needs to improve the pitching first or the lineup first to be able to make more of a dent in the postseason?
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into The Breeze. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the host, Haas the Breezy, DP to my left. If you guys want to join in last second comments, 402-464-5685. Haas the Breezy, I'll go ahead and let you wrap up the show. We got about 5 minutes left here. Go ahead and take it away.
It's always more fun when we rapid fire. So DP, write the script. Who should win the men's Money in the Bank?
Roman Reigns.
All right.
Roman Reigns.
I'm going to go with Braun Breaker.
No, not ready. Not your time. Not your time. Not unless somewhere between now and then he declares himself a Steiner. And his dad and his uncle show up and just like, hey, reclaim the greatness, bro.
We were watching March 21st, 2003, or maybe it's 31st. It's the first Raw after WrestleMania in 2003 where Goldberg makes his debut and Big Papa Pump comes out and Maximus is like, his biceps are like 40 times bigger than mine.
Right? Why wouldn't there's only two answers. Well, there's three answers. I mean, because you're not really wrong. But in the top three, it's Reigns, CM Punk, to deal with this. And then the reality is you're probably going to put Gunter in a championship match for that card. So he won't be there. But if it's Reigns and Rock, I'm really intrigued by the possibilities. Like Reigns and Rock opens the whole floodgate. Like everything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everything's possible. But Punk allows us to set whether it could be either heel Punk or face Punk, all there. Now, again, problem is that now you have to put Punk versus McIntyre first, but you're burying the lead again. And my head kind of spins because this is the opportunity. This is the reshaping of the next calendar year for cards. And I know that you don't have Rock, and I'm not sure you have Reigns back to do what you want to do. So then, if it's none of those, then it has to be Solo Sikoa. But you're about to burn him against Cody. Like that's literally the book.
They have not used him right at all. In the
right.
last
Like so.
year.
Right. There's there. If you really want to set the table on fire. And I think this is the most underutilized star, which is Braun Strowman. Because Strowman could just say tomorrow night, okay, I'm tired of playing with y'all. Like, I'm tired. Like, y'all got me chasing midgets around the ring. Y'all got me chasing women around the ring. Y'all got me chasing short. You got me chasing fans. You got me chasing referees. When my game is, you never asked Andre the Giant to do this. You never would have asked Big Show to do this. And for him to say, you want to set it on fire, have Braun Strowman say, listen, I don't care if it's Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Gunter, I don't care. Can't none of y'all beat me. I'm the baddest dude walking. Like, I'll fight you in the parking lot. I'll fight you at the airport. I'll fight you in the locker room. I'll fight you in the ring on primetime television. Can't none of y'all fight.
So I want to be like rapid fire, but you're speaking the truth, man. So it's hard to be like, you're speaking the truth, and it's so.
Haas, last 3 minutes here are yours.
I'll add Jay. No, I'll add Jay Uso to that
rapid
list.
fire here, then.
All right.
Yeah.
Then female side.
Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill. Period. Like, you could have done that with Nia Jax, but you didn't do, like, you don't, like, okay, so now what are you going to do?
Well,
like,
they're
now
going to give it to Tiffy time. Then
you should write. Then you should write, because that's giving it to Dom.
No,
I don't
she's
care.
more polished.
No,
I don't like what she looks like.
No, you know who I really want? You know who I really want to be women's champion in 6 months? I need for her to be the women's champion. I need Toni Storm. I need Toni Storm. I need Toni Storm.
Yep.
Like, I don't care how you do it, but at WrestleMania, it better be Timeless Toni. I don't care. If money is the only thing keeping you from having the hottest talent in all of wrestling, pro wrestling, what are you even doing?
Does losing by 40 mean there's any momentum for Dallas, or is it over?
Yes, we know that. You and I know that. We've been in that room. Dallas should be the favorite today. They should be the favorite. It's the only time in the finals they should be the favorite today.
Haas, final thoughts before we depart.
I have one word before Boston, and I can't say it. So
there we go. Understood. Understood indeed. The words don't even need to be said, and we know where Haas is coming from. That's going to wrap it up for the Breeze. Shout out Haas on time as always, and DP, the other host to my left. We're going to keep Ticket Weekends rolling here with the Nico Project on a Father's Day edition. So don't go anywhere. Right here on Ticket Sundays.